This is KGW News at Sunrise.
After almost a year of going back and forth and a lot of uncertainty for local patients, Legacy and Regent strike a last-minute deal. We're going to have the details and what it means for anyone who may have already canceled an upcoming appointment. Plus,
you've been in business for 60 years. This used to be one of our flagship stores, and now I can't even keep it safely open.
That's the CEO of Plaid Pantry. Just last week, he told us that the pause on bottle drop services at one location has just pushed the drug problem to another block. Now that pause has been extended. We'll have the details on that story in just a few minutes. And
I walked in and there was measuring happening, and I was sitting next to a friend who was like, are they measuring the three-point line?
yes, in fact, they were measuring the three-point lines at the Moda Center yesterday. That's because the court was incorrectly marked all weekend long during the NCAA Women's Regional here in Portland. We're going to have more on the local basketball court controversy coming up. Good morning and thanks for joining us here. I'm Drew Carney.
And I'm China Green. We have some more weather, some more sunny weather, Chris McGinnis, to talk about.
We have some awesome weather in the forecast.
I love it.
Saturday was great. Yeah. Sunday was even greater. Can we raise the roof a little more?
Why not?
For Monday, let's do it. Okay, so first off, it's clear and it's cool out there, and we're waking up to temperatures in the mid-40s, so it is a bit of a chilly start. 46 last check at PDX. There are some 30s on the map. Hillsborough at 38, 39 Sherwood, and south into the Willamette Valley. We're in the upper 30s in Corvallis and Dallas. 40 last check in Salem. All right, the cool start, but full sunshine in our forecast. We are rocking 12 hours and 51 minutes of daylight today as the days continue increasing at 3 minutes a day. How about that? We've got temperatures into the upper 60s this afternoon. 66 yesterday. I've got Portland at 69 today, and even warmer weather comes our way tomorrow. We'll enjoy it because after that, we'll talk about that when we get to that. Let's get you out the door and a quick look at the roads right now, and we go to Vancouver. Light on the I-5 bridge. I-5 traffic looks pretty wide open as it does at the Sylvan Hill. Guys have been surfing all the freeway cameras here the last couple of minutes and have not found any Monday morning trouble out there just yet.
Hopefully it stays that way. Thank you, Chris. Our top story this morning, a last-minute deal between Legacy Health and Regent Blue Cross Blue Shield. The deal means that thousands of patients will not be hit with out-of-pocket costs. The agreement means Legacy will remain in-network for Regent's members. Yesterday was a deadline to make a deal on a new contract. Legacy released a statement saying it is grateful for everyone's patience and says if you have an appointment scheduled, you should still attend. If you cancel during the uncertainty, contact Legacy to reschedule.
Here's a look at some other local headlines this morning, starting in Vancouver, where police are asking for help to find this missing woman and her 5-year-old daughter. This is Lauren and Elena Morin, who were last seen yesterday, and police have connected them to a red 2015 Mazda CX-5 with Washington plates. They also believe Lauren is suffering from a medical emergency, so if you see them, call Vancouver police. Bottle drop services, meanwhile, at a downtown Portland Plaid Pantry will remain suspended for the month of April. This store that's on the corner of Southwest 11th and Jefferson has been a hotspot for drug users who turn in those cans for cash to support their habit. KGW's Blair Best reported on this last week. Portland's 90-day fentanyl emergency task force paused bottle return services at this Plaid Pantry and the Safeway across the street back on March 2nd. Portland police have said that area of downtown near the South Park blocks is flooded with drug use and drug dealing. The city's 90-day fentanyl emergency is scheduled to end on May 1st. Amtrak service between Portland and Seattle is up and running again after a landslide near Kelso shut it down over the weekend. That landslide happened on Friday. Amtrak had to use buses to get people around the shutdown. The first train leaving Portland today takes off in about 2 hours at 6:45. And that's a look at some of this morning's local headlines.
This team it rivals any team I've ever been a part of. What they did this year is not common. It's not normal. We're not supposed to be here, but we are. A fearless, gritty, tough display of competitive fire and passion and togetherness that is as inspiring as anything. That
is Oregon State's women's basketball coach singing the praises of his team. after the Beavers season came to an end yesterday, losing to top-ranked South Carolina in the Elite Eight, 70-58.
There is still a lot of basketball to be played in the women's tournament, so don't you worry there. It all continues tonight at Moda Center with USC versus UConn. That game starts at 6:15. Our Edwards, of course, will be there, catch all the action for you. So the winner of that game will go up against either Iowa or LSU in the Final Four, depending on who wins tonight in Albany. So the tip-off for that game starts out at 4:15 our time.
Yeah, you see all the matchups right there on your screen. Of course, the weekend also saw some controversy here in Portland during that women's basketball tournament.
The NCAA admits the three-point lines at Moda Center have been off for every game played here this past week. Evan Watson has that story.
A huge moment for Portland, hosting Sweet 16 and Elite Eight games for the women's college basketball tournament, stained by a coat of paint.
I walked in and there was measuring happening, and I was sitting next to a friend who was like, are they measuring the three-point line?
The NCAA says the Moda Center court was marked incorrectly all week. One three-point line longer than the other. Before the Texas-North Carolina State game Sunday, coaches walked it off, and officials even measured the lines with a tape measure. Fearing a delay, throwing off their team, or losing their network TV slot, the coaches decided to play anyway.
Well, I hate to say this, but I have a lot of colleagues that would say only in women's basketball. I mean, it's a shame, really, that it even happened. But it is what it is.
North Carolina State, who advanced to the Final Four, took it in stride. Easier to say after a big win.
Would it have mattered where the three-point line was today?
Not at all, not at all.
They don't shoot at that thing anyway, so it don't matter. I was worried about if our players were going to have to wait an hour to play. I like the fact we could jump out there and play the game.
Both coaches said they don't think it affected the outcome of the game. Teams switched sides at halftime. But plenty of people, like Texas fan and University of Oregon assistant professor Courtney Cox, have questions.
We have this moment where the athleticism is in a place where it's better than it's ever been. We have like more focus, more media coverage, the things that these players deserve. And then we have these little moments that kind of remind us of the work that's still there for us.
The NCAA released a statement saying the court will be corrected before tomorrow's Elite Eight game in Portland, adding, while the NCAA's vendor has apologized for the error, we will investigate how this happened in the first place. The NCAA is working now to ensure the accuracy of all court markings for future games. The NCAA regrets the error was not discovered sooner. Cox says she's curious how the players feel about the mess-up.
I'm interested from them. Do they feel it was off? Or is it also like the mental component, right? Once you know it's not right, is that throwing you off? I feel like that's such an interesting mental component of like mind-body connection.
And a big mistake like this one brings natural questions of accountability and equity for the NCAA and the men's and women's tournaments.
The fans are there, the athletes are there, the sport is there, and we really just kind of need everyone else to catch up.
Including the three-point line?
I mean, especially the three-point line, right?
Evan Watson, KGW News.
So again, the Moda Center will host one more women's game later tonight. Let's talk about the men's side of the tournament, though, for a moment, because the Final Four is already set there. We have Purdue taking on NC State this Saturday. That's followed by Alabama versus UConn. The winners of those two games will play for the men's national championship next Monday night. Chris McGinnis, did you fill out a bracket this year?
No, but I'm going to ask how many people had an 11 seed making it to the Final Four?
It actually, when it broke down, it wasn't a whole lot of upsets. Like, there wasn't a lot of low, or I should say high seeds making it that far, but NC State obviously made it really far this year.
That's impressive.
Yep.
Really good for them. Equally impressive.
I know what you're going to say.
You know what I'm going to say.
I would
We're gonna
agree.
Go there. Let's get to the weather wall. Before we talk about the weather later this afternoon, let's talk about the sun. That's not the sun, that's the moon. That is the shot of the waning gibbous moon here from Mount Hood, and the sky is clear up over the Cascades this morning. It is clear over downtown as well. It's a little chilly. It's 38 last check in Hillsborough. It's 42 in Troutdale. The big perspective across the state of Oregon. We hop over the Cascades in the Central Oregon Cascades right now. Sun River, one of the cooler spots on this map anyway, at 25. K Falls at 25. Baker City. Good morning to you folks in Baker County. Waking up to a crisp 26 degrees on this April 1st. Are you ready for sunshine? Good, because that's what we've got today. Here's a look at the satellite radar loop over the last 12 hours. Pretty much rinse, wash, and repeat. The weather from yesterday, the same today, and virtually the same tomorrow. And the next day or two, we warm up a little bit more. So yesterday, PDX hit 66. High pressure, large and in charge of our weather here for the next 2 days, and that will keep us even warmer today and tomorrow. All right, right now, 46 degrees at PDX. Futurecast says temperatures easily getting into the mid-50s at lunchtime today, and then into the upper 60s for highs. And I show you this, this is the graph model. Our modeling has been just a little bit on the cool side in terms of what it's projecting versus what actually happens. And so while our modeling says 67, I've got Portland probably up at 69 this afternoon, but that's splitting hairs. The point is it's going to be sunny and warm today. Overnight lows tonight holding the 40s, and then we tack on a few more degrees tomorrow. I've got Tuesday's high in the low to mid 70s in the Willamette Valley. Folks east of the Cascades could be in the mid to upper 70s. Check this out. The Dow's at 78, Prineville 78. I mean, we're going full on almost early summer like, right, for Tuesday, and then Wednesday comes, and you'll see what I mean. We are just on a little bit of a weather roller coaster here. All right, today, high and dry, full sunshine. Tomorrow, same story. And then later tomorrow night, that's when the changes begin to happen. I'll roll the clock on our computer model. That front works its way in here. Wednesday, that front blasts through the region very early in the wee hours of the morning here with heavy rain, or at least a shot of some heavy rain. Narrow window there of some heavy rain. And yes, snow on the map, snow in the Oregon Coast Range, snow in the Cascades, all the things we know and love about spring in the Pacific Northwest, those weather roller coasters, right? Well, here comes the next dip, right? After today and tomorrow, we've got an increasing likelihood of below average temperatures as we get into the second half of the work week and the first full weekend of April. So there you go. 69 today, sunny, 73 tomorrow. Not records, but certainly well above average for this time of the year. And then, whoop, the bottom drops out. China, we're talking about 52 with showers Wednesday and probably in the low 50s on Thursday.
A little bit of a whiplash there.
A little bit.
Chris, thank you.